ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
वन्दे
परम्पराम्
गुरुपरम्पराम्
ॐ
ॐ
ॐ सहना
सहनावतु
भवतु
सहनौ
सहनौ
भुनक्तु
भुनक्तु
सह
सह
वीर्यं
वीर्यं
करवावहै
करवावहै
नावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
वहै ॐ
विद्विषावहैः
शान्ति
ॐ
Shanti,
शान्ति
Shanti.
शान्तिः।
So we will chant the eighth verse again of the 17th chapter. श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Vacha
आयुः सत्त्वबलारोग्य
आयुं सत्त्वबलारोग्य
आयुस्सत्त्वबलारोग्य
सुखप्रीतिविवर्धनाः
सुखप्रीति विवर्धनः
सुखप्रीतिविवर्धनाः
रस्या स्निग्धा स्थिरा हृद्या
रस्या
रस्या
स्निग्धः
स्निग्धा
स्थिरा
स्थिरा
हृदया
हृद्या
Vidya
आहारः सात्विकः प्रियाः
आहारः
Aharaha Satvika
आहारसात्विकप्रियाः।
Priyaha.
So we were talking about the uh, fact that there are four factors to determine the classification of food. The first is the source of the food, which means where the grains come from, who cooks the food. And what is also important is the attitude of the person cooking. So because Shastra says that when food is received on the table, you are receiving the punya papam from the person who's cooking also. So that if the source, that is the cook, is always angry and doesn't like you, and therefore you are getting asap pratigraha, pollution of the body and the mind. So you might have unknowingly picked up some papa. And then we said that that is why before having the bath, we chant Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati, etc. Right? We pour the water uttering the name of the Lord. Therefore, this snanam, your bath, is actually not just a bath, it's part of the Nitya Puja Karma because it purifies the mind and purifies the body also. And of course, especially the mind when Ishvara is invoked. The second factor is the quality of food. And if you remember, for example, the verses on those of you who are in the Upanishad class, you will know that food is supposed to come from where? Plants. Oshadibhya annam. And because it comes from plants, this is the pramanam that food is supposed to be vegetarian. And therefore, only vegetarian food is sattvic in our tradition. And therefore, if you are a serious seeker, serious spiritual seeker, people keep on keeping their phones on. I don't know why. So if you're a serious spiritual seeker, you should be a vegetarian. That's what Shastra says. And not only that, you are basically your food is an offering to Vaishwanara Deva, who is in your stomach. And any food that is of any offering to the Lord should be sattvic only. Or various reasons why only vegetarian food is supposed to be eaten. And the third one is the quantity of food. So we have seen somewhere in the Bhagavad Gita that there should be a middle path for the quantity. Where did we see
युक्ताहारस्य विहारस्य
Yuktaharasya
युक्तकरोति
Viharasya, right? Sixth chapter. And therefore there are rules. Food is not meant for sense pleasures. It is meant for removing the hunger. The first rule is therefore eat only when you are hungry. You are not supposed to eat while watching TV or while talking to people or just because you have nothing else to do. what do they call it in today's language? Binge eating, right? Food is meant for quenching the hunger only. Therefore, eat only when you are hungry. And there is a second rule where it is there in Yoga Shastra. Can you quote that? Anybody? All you yogis are here, right? Most of you practice yoga. What is the uh, rule for eating for a yogi?
So one fourth, half of the stomach to be filled with the food,
Yes.
and one fourth to be water, and one fourth for the Lord. I mean, it's basically air for Shiva.
Okay. So 50% is for stomach, 25% leave for water, and 25% leave it empty. That's the rule, right? And if you want to put that into English, it is that when you feel that I can eat a little bit more, when you are reasonably satisfied, but you feel that I can eat one roti more, or maybe, a little bit of rice more, don't. That's the time when you should stop. But that is simple English for that complicated formula 50% plus 25% plus 25%. Then there is the approach to eating. We said earlier that eating is a yajna, it's a form of puja. Why? Because you are feeding the Lord in the form of Vaishvanara in your stomach. And therefore, you should approach that process itself with reverence. You should, give a prayer before you start to eat. There are many prayers in the scriptures which you can do. Okay. Then, because it's a puja, you know, you should be focusing on the puja. So you should not eat while walking. You should be sitting. You should not be talking while eating. You should not be standing while eating. You should not be watching TV while eating. Do we follow all these rules? We don't. All of us sit and watch TV, right? At least TV. Or talk. What is it called? Dinner conversation. Shastra says you can talk only to one person in the house during when you're eating. Who is that?
The one
Vaishwanara.
who's serving,
Sorry?
the
The one who is
who's
dwelling in us.
serving. Bhagavan himself.
Annapurna, you can talk. Who's Annapurna?
The lady of the house or the person serving.
The lady of the house. And if it's somebody else who's serving, then we won't restrict the ladies. Nowadays, men also serve, right? But traditionally, lady of the house serves. So she's Annapurna. You can talk only to her. No chit chat. No using that dining table to say how was your day to your friends or relatives or kids. So eat with silence. And therefore, if you go to any ashram, those of you who have been to Shivananda will know. First thing we say is you chant the prayer. What do they say next? Eat in silence. Right? In the silence, you are supposed to appreciate the fact that you have been given food. So thank the Lord for that. That food is being given to the Lord. So have the correct amount of respect. And not only that, we also say, at least the Indian culture is they say that you should eat whatever is given to you. Why is that? Annam na nindyat. Do not disrespect Annam. Annam na parichakshita. Do not turn away. Do not criticize food. Do not waste food. And therefore, it's a very important, rule here. On the plate, have only as much as you can eat. Now, this is violated in tradition also because especially if you're a guest, the host will like to keep on feeding you till you burst. Okay, and once the food is there on the plate, even if you don't want to, you have to eat because what happens? Otherwise, everybody feels insulted. Is it not? So you should not insult your host. That's the idea. So therefore, when you're eating at a friend's place or in any function, make sure that you get only as much as you can eat. In fact, get a little less, doesn't matter. So that is annamna vyat. Annamna parichakshitaha. Do not waste food, do not criticize food. Don't say this is not good food. Just be happy that you've got food. Not everybody gets food. Okay. What is the classification? What is sattvic? What is rajasic? What is tamasic? So as I said, generally a vegetarian diet, a vegetarian food is considered sattvic in the Vaidika tradition. Non-vegetarian food is considered highly rajasic. Alcohol is considered highly tamasic. So these two are prohibited food. And in this verse, Lord Krishna is giving certain general rules. So he says, Ayuhu sattva balarogyaha sukha priti vivardhanaha. So vivardhanaha has to be connected to Ayuhu. Okay, Ayuhu vivardhanaha. Ayu is what? Your life. Vivardhana means increasing. So that food, Ayuhu vivardhanaha, which increases your lifespan, is considered sattvic. And also what else? Sattvaha, mental strength. So Shankara doesn't comment on sattvaha. Yeah, sattva, balaha, arogya, sukha, priti. These are the breakups. But Shankara does not give any meaning for sattvaha. Subcommentators say that sattva has to be taken as the words they use, manobalam, chitta sthairiam, a strong mind, chitta sthairiam, mind free from sthairiam means stable. So chitta sthairiam, a stable mind, which means a mind which is not given to violent moments. There are no violent reactions in the mind. Such a mind is called sattvaha. Okay. Why? There's also another reason why mind is called sattvaha. Why?
Tattvabodha from the Samashti Sattva aspect.
Mind is the product of the samashti sattvic aspect. Okay. Then bala is physical strength. Arogyam is general fitness, overall health, right? Absence of disease, basically. Arogyam. Sukham is you look at Madhusudana Saraswati's commentary. So he says Sukham means after you've eaten, after the food is eaten, there is a sense of contentment, right? Because your hunger is gone. That is the Sukham. And Preeti is comfort and happiness. So what is the difference between Sukham and Preeti? Shankara doesn't comment on all this. But Madhusudana Saraswati says that Sukham you can take as the comfortable feeling after eating, and Preeti you should take as comfortable feeling while you are eating. Very subtle difference. Preeti is comfort while you are eating. Sukham is comfort after eating. Neither while you are eating nor after eating should you feel discomfort. Why is this so important? Or why the distinction is being made?
Because there are many foods which will make us happy while eating, but later on they will make a trouble
They
for
will.
us.
Correct. They will make you have uncomfortable feelings after the food is eaten. Okay. What about Rajasika food? So, when you eat Rajasika food or Tamasika food, Preeti is there, right? This is what you said. Comfort is there, happiness is there. But later there will be indigestion. Sukham is not there. And therefore, this is the characteristic of Sattvika food only. That Preeti and Sukham both are. Okay. Then, following characteristics should also be there. What is that? Rasya. Rasya means it is sweet, delicious. Right? Now, when you say it is sweet and delicious, always remember the sixth chapter in moderate quantities. Right? One rasagulla is satvika. One whole tin of rasagulla is not. So limited quantities asyaha literally means delicious and sweet. I'm just adding that you should always, temper this by saying in limited quantities. Snigdhaha. So Shankara comments, Snigdhaha means snehavantaha. What is sneha? Very important. Every nice word. Sneha. What does it mean?
Friendly?
I thought you'd say that. Anybody?
Something to do with
Ghee.
Sneha
Ghee.
means Sneha means that which sticks.
Yeah,
And that is why,
actually.
you called affection as Sneha. It's not literal meaning, but it is used like that. So that which sticks means that which is not, in the context of food, it means that which is not very, very dry. Like I'm not a cook, okay, but I eat. So there are various ways of cooking, let us say, upma. I don't know if you guys have seen. But some places in the south, or maybe some restaurants which are South Indian, they give very, very dry upma, extremely dry. And some places, the upma is the same, but it is not very dry because ghee has been used. Have you seen?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So that very dry upma is not snigdha, but that upma in which ghee is there, so that it is not dry. At the same time, it is not dripping in ghee. Okay, the moderation. That is called snigdaha, snehavartaha. Then the next is what? Sthira. So sthira is, again, Shankara gives a very good definition. Dehe chirakala sthaniyanaha. All the definitions you should remember. Them is almost impeccable. The words he uses. Dehe, in the body. Chirakalaha, for some time. Sthaniyanaha, it stays. Sthira means dehe chirakala sthaniyanaha, staying in the body for some time. And therefore, what happens? If the food you have eaten stays in the body for some time, what happens?
Nourishment takes place.
Nourishment takes place. Otherwise, if it just comes in and goes out, there is no nourishment, right? So, sthira can be taken as that which stays in the body for some time, and therefore it nourishes me. Very, very beautiful descriptions. Then, hridyaha. So, hridyaha here, Shankara says, hridaya priyaha. Pleasing to the heart or the mind. Visually pleasing. So, there's another very important uh, stipulation by Shastra. The food may be tasty, it may be, nourishing, but sometimes, especially in dhabas, you will find that they are not pleasing to look at. So according to Shastra, even when you look at the food, you should want to consume. Therefore, you will find that many people, they, dress up the food, especially at parties and all. Somebody giving a party, the lady of the house is artistically inclined. All the food will be made in such a way that even looking at them will make your mouth water. So that is hridyaha. By seeing it, you want to consume it. And what is that food then? Aharaha, satvika priyaha. All these are food which are liked by satvika people. Okay, one more caveat over here. Okay, these are all indicators, lingani, but they are not for judging others. Okay, these are all meant for judging ourselves, whether we are sattvika or not. Don't use them to look at your wife or husband or son, then afterwards give him a long story about how he's not sattvika. That is not the purpose of this whole exercise. It is all this is self-introspection. Okay, we look at verse number 9. Katvam lalavanat vanatyushnaha
Tattvam
Tvam
lalavana
lalavanachushnaha.
तीक्ष्णरुक्षविदाहिनः
Tikshnarukshavidahinah
आहार राजस्य श्रेष्ठाः
आहारराजस्य श्रेष्ठाः
दुःखशोकामयप्रदाः
Dukkha-shokamaya-pradaha.
Having defined Satvika food, he comes to Rajasika food. So he says Aharaha. Those foods, Ahara is second line. Aharaha, those foods. What are they? You have to break that line very carefully. What is the line? What is the word? It's a compound word. Katva, Katvam, Lala, Vanarth, Yushnaha. So you break it up into Katu. The word is there, right? So that word is a joiner. Katu, Amalaha, Lavanaha, Ati Ushnaha. Katu, Amala, Lavana, Ati Ushna. Okay. And then the next one. Tiksha, Ruksha, Vidahinaha. And Dukkha, Shoka, Amaya, Pradaha. Pradaha means the generator of causing. And Rajasasya Ishtaha. These are liked by Rajasic people. And in the first compound word, Katu, Amla, Lavana, Ati Ushna, then Ruksha, Vidahina, etc. Shankara says, was a very important, he says you look at the Ati, which is after Lavanaha and Ushna. Lavanaha, Ati, Ushnaha. He says, take the word Ati and you should add it to each of these words. It is not just meant for Ati, Ushnaha. Okay. Why? Because all these are prescribed in Ayurveda as necessary for your food. Ayurveda says that all this you have to eat as good for health. And therefore, Ati needs to be added. Ati is what? Too much, excessive. Therefore, Ati needs to be added. Each of these, please do not unmute yourself. You're disturbing the recording. So please keep it unmuted. Okay, so Shankara says Ati should be added to every one of these. And therefore, Ati Katu. Katu means bitter. Ati Katu means extremely bitter. Ati Amla. Amla is sour, like, old curds. So, Ati very, very sour things you should not eat. Lavana is salty. Ati Lavana, too salty. Ati Ushnaha. It is, this Ushnaha here is in the sense of the temperature, okay? Because there's Ati Tikshnaha also there. The translation of both can be hot. Therefore, Ati Ushnaha here means it should not be very hot in the sense of temperature. Ati Tikshnaha. This Tikshnaha is also very hot, but in the sense of pungency. So Ushnaha is hot in the sense of temperature, physically hot. Tikshnaha means that which is very chilly, pungent. Then Ati Rukshaha. Rukshaha is very dry. That is no oil, no ghee. It's the exact opposite of Snigdha. Then Vidahinaha. Vidahinaha means food which is burning. That it burns your stomach lining, etc. Something like, let's say, very, very hot food, mustard, etc. These are all liked by Rajasic people. What is the effect of eating such food? Dukkha, Shoka, Amaya, Pradaha. So Dukkham here stands for, the immediate painful effects like maybe watering eyes. And Shokaha stands for the long-term adverse effect. For example, like because of this, you will become more Rajasic and then you will have, mental problems. So Shoka stands for long-term effect, sorrow caused by your tendency to eat such stuff and therefore the nature is being affected. And Amaya Pradaha. Amaya, disease, Pradaha, the giver of. So this Rajasic food will cause diseases like ulcer, etc. And remember that this Rajasic food will cause you to be Rajasic in nature. Therefore, you will be very, very highly active. You will find that such people are constantly active. But you ask them to sit down for half an hour of puja, it is impossible for them. Where is the question of Vedantic Shravanam at all? For Shravanam, we have to sit for hours together. Okay. Having seen Sattvic and Rajasic, we will now go to the 10th verse where he talks about Tamasic. Please unmute yourself. I would request all of you all to mute yourself after the chanting is over and remain muted so that this recording is not disturbed. Thank you. So please unmute yourself. Yatayamam gatarasam
Yatayamam
Gatarasam
Uti paryushitam chayat
Bhuti paryushitam chayat
Uchishthamapi chamedhyam
Uchishtamaphi
Uttishthamapi
chamedyam
chamedyam
Bhojanam tamasapriyam.
Bhojanam
tamasapryam.
So let us look at this very interesting verse. There are two words, yata yamam and gatarasam, right? So yata yamam, we will come to the word. General meaning can be that a food that has lost its nutritional value. So the stale food basically, both mean the same. Generally, both can have the same meaning. But since the repetition of two words which have the same meaning will be what is it called? Punarukti dosham. So defect of punarukti, repeating, saying again. Therefore, Shankara gives in his commentary, he gives a very interesting meaning. He says yata yamam. Okay, so look at the word yama, not yama. Yama is a measure, is a measurement of time. And one yama is equal to 4 muhuratas. What is the meaning of muhurat? Don't say auspicious time. So muhurat is a
One half of an 1/2 hour, 1.5 hours.
Acharya, do muthi, is it?
No, one muhurat is approximately, you can say, 48 minutes. And therefore, when you go for auspicious thing and they say muhurat nikal ja raha hai, or they say the muhurat is passing away, please come quickly. What does it mean? That for this particular function to start, there is one muhurat, 48 minutes are there. And if you don't start it within those 48 minutes, then the muhurat is gone and you'll have to look for another auspicious time. Okay. That's what it means. So one muhurat is 48 minutes and one yama is 4 muhurats. So 4 muhurats into 48 minutes is mental maths. Anybody? 4 into 48? 192. 192 is 3 hours and 12 minutes. Okay. So Shankara says that yata yamam, that which has been kept for 192 minutes. That is called yata yamam, stale food, kept for 192 minutes. Why? Because you look at the climate. Right? We are in a tropical climate. And in the old days, there were no fridges. And if you kept food out in tropical climate for 3 hours, usually it will spoil. And therefore, this is one definition of stale food. There is another word, puti, right? And puti, Shankara says, you have to take it as manda pakkam. So manda is not dumb or dull. It should be taken as under. Pakvam is cooked. So manda pakvam is undercooked or uncooked. That is why in the kitchen also, there is a connection with Agni. Because Agni Devata is a deity which not only removes all the bacteria, cooks the food, but removes your spiritual problems also. That's why water is boiled, milk is boiled. Unboiled water, unboiled milk, uncooked food, these are all tamasika variety. So whenever you eat salads, you are eating tamasika food, right? So I'm not saying don't eat. I'm just saying Shastra says a cucumber which you eat, the tomato which you eat, it slices. That is not tamasika food. Okay. And therefore he says gata rasam, you take the word gata rasam, literally means rasam gataha, which means what? The rasam here is nourishment. Gataha means gone. Therefore, gata rasam is food from which nourishment has gone. So rasa viyuktam, devoid of nourishment. And this can happen because of undercooking, overcooking, no cooking, or getting spoiled. And therefore, if you take these two words, yata yamam and gatarasam together, you can take it very simply as undercooked or overcooked food. Yata yamam, food left out for so long, or undercooked. And gatarasam, overcooked. Both are tamasika. And therefore, puti. Puti means foul smelling. Durgandaha. They are both overcooked food and undercooked food are foul smelling. Then he adds one more. Paryushitam. Paryushitam is, he gives a definition. He says, Pakvam Sat Ratri Antaritam. Food kept overnight after cooking. Pakvam Sat, after cooking. Ratri Antaritam, kept overnight. So any food, very specific definition. Any food kept overnight is tamasic, even if it has not got spoiled. In today's world, you have fridge, right? And therefore you keep the food in the fridge. But it's tamasic the next morning. Even though it has not got spoiled, it is tamasic. What could be the reason? Anybody?
Contaminated by bacteria and all, is that what it means?
Not in the fridge. Keep it in the fridge, right? I'm sure all of us keep
Nutritional,
food.
Yes.
maybe nutritional value.
Nothing
Lack
is
of
wrong.
nourishment.
I think in you're not the nutritional value, but the life energy which food provides that reduces when it is kept for longer time or even overnight. The nutritional value, maybe protein, carbohydrate, and all may not be destroyed. Some of them, of course, micronutrients get destroyed, but that is what I think.
Just shows how far away we are from tradition. What is the first thing you do in the morning before you eat?
So, bath, is it to do
Brush.
with our sleep, and that is supposed to be like, pure, like
I remember
not very.
my grandmother used to do it. That's why I know this. Okay. When breakfast was made, she would first, and usually in Kerala it was idlis, okay, so or dosha, whatever. So she would first go and give one idli to the Lord. And that's the reason. Because you have to offer the food to the Lord. You cannot offer old food to the Lord. Yesterday's food is old food. It may not be, contaminated. It may be fresh. It may have been heated up, but it is yesterday's food.
Acharya ji, we offer fruits to the Lord during
You may offer
puja.
food to the Lord, but traditionally, your food before it goes down your throat has to be offered to the Lord. That is the tradition. You cannot consume
Om Acharya.
anything. Yeah.
Om Acharya, in olden days, even now it is promoted. You keep rice overnight in a clay pot, and they say it becomes probiotic and it becomes, you add buttermilk and spices. That's also overnight food, but it is supposed to be good.
I am not talking about the health part. I am talking about the spiritual part of it because you are offering old food
Okay.
to the Lord. Okay.
Okay. Huh.
Any old
Right.
food offered to the Lord is not good. And therefore, what is not offered to the Lord is tamasic food.
Right.
And therefore, if you are not offering food to the Lord, whatever it is tamasic, even if you cook it in the morning. Right? Food has to be offered to
Yeah.
Ishtadevata
Got
before
it.
you eat. And if you don't offer food, what message are you conveying?
That yajna shishta, that means it's sinful food. It's
You are
not food
conveying that
which
I
is.
don't care about you, O Lord.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
unless the Lord is worshipped, your house cannot be a temple. You say, right, that your house is a temple. How can the house be a temple without food being offered to the Lord? In any temple you go, they offer food to the Lord. Do you know when they cook it? Every day. Every time they offer, in fact, they cook. Morning they cook. Morning if you're offering, they cook in the morning. Afternoon if you're offering, cook in the afternoon. Evening if you're offering, cook in the evening. And therefore you cannot have a temple where Lord is not there. And if your Lord is not worshipped, it's not a temple. Therefore, the home to be a temple must have the Lord to be worshipped. And therefore, cooking is absolutely important. Without a kitchen, you may have a house, but it's definitely not a temple. Okay. So,
May I ask a question, Acharya?
yes, please.
You mentioned that water or milk which is not boiled is tamasic.
Yes.
But for Abhishekam, we use unboiled milk.
Abhishekam is different from offering.
Ah. But
Offering
it's
something.
simple.
Yeah. See, there are, technically speaking, if you rarely offer water to the Lord, right? You offer milk, yes. But usually boiled milk, not raw milk.
But for Abhishekam, we use unboiled, right? That's
Abhishek is
correct.
washing. Abhishek is washing. You wash your
Okay.
body also with unboiled water. Right?
All right. And then, thank you, Acharya.
Okay.
I
Now the
have a
next.
question
Yeah. Yes, please.
before we proceed further. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are two questions I have. One is
Okay.
there is a tradition in certain part of the country that the wife generally eats after the husband has eaten, and she will eat in the same plate which the husband has left. That is
Right.
one part.
Good question.
And
Yeah.
second is in Guru Gita,
Oh.
there is a slokam which says Guru Ruchista Bhojanam. So whatever is left over by Guru in his plate, if you eat it, you get the same power which the Guru has. So these two questions I have, how to interpret those.
So these are
One
all
is
what we
tradition, the
call.
other is
Yeah, but these are all what we call Arthavada.
hmm,
Arthavada means for glorificatory purposes, glorification purposes. You are not supposed to take it in literally.
hmm,
Right? Therefore, if you look at the next word, it says Uchishtam.
hmm,
Uchishtam means Bhukta Shishtam. Shishtam means
hmm,
leftover. Bhukta means after
leftover.
eating. After
Yeah,
eating. Bhukta Shishtam means
yeah.
what is left over after somebody eats.
Hmm,
What is that? Amedyam. Food
hmm,
which is not fit to be offered to the Lord.
hmm,
And therefore you cannot eat. Whether a wife eating from you or whether you eating from a guru, that food is tamasic. Once somebody is eaten and left over, that food is tamasic.
hmm. Okay.
Okay. Then there's a question. In the third chapter, we said Yajna Shishta. what food is left over after the yajna. How do you reconcile?
Yes,
It is prasada.
It is
yeah,
prasadam.
that is offered to the Bhagwan.
It is offered
Then
to the
we
Lord.
can.
Right? So when food is not offered to the Lord, it is amedhyam. Right? That is one portion. Not only that, uchishtam is leftover. That is tamasic. Amedhyam is also tamasic. So amedhyam is what I was talking about over here. Food not offered to the Lord is amedhyam. Therefore, if you have not offered your food to the Lord in the morning, the food of that food is amedhyam. It is tamasic food. And therefore, since you cannot offer old food to the Lord, you have to cook new food every day. Okay. Why all these rules and regulations? Because without adherence to such structure, it is easy for us to lose our vision of centering our life on the Lord. And that is why today you will find that religion and spirituality is slowly dying down, especially among the younger generations, because we have not provided them this. It is nobody's fault. It is not their fault. It is our fault. We as parents and grandparents, we have not provided them with the culture where we tell them all these things, not verbally, but by doing it. Had we been following these rituals regularly, our children would not be like that today. Don't blame children. It is our own fault. At the age of 70, you come to Shastra. And then you start to understand. By that time, it is too late. You've already done the damage. And all this food is bhojanam tamasam priyam. All this food is liked by tamasic people. Right? One more interesting idea which some subcommentator writes is that ahara should not be taken as consumption through the mouth only. Very interesting concept. Ahara should be taken as consumption through any of the indriyas. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue. Everything should be sattvika. You should be seeing sattvika movies. You should be hearing sattvika songs and so on. Okay, any questions? All very tough. I don't say it's not tough to do. This is what Shastram says. And had this been part of our culture, had this been what our parents and grandparents did, you would not find it difficult because you would have embedded it in your own daily life. But we didn't do that. Okay. Verse number 11. Afalakankshibiryajnah
Afalakankshiviryagnah
Afalakankshibiryajnah
viditrishtoya ijyate
Vididrishtoya
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 Ijyate
ijyate
ishthavyameveti manah
Yashtavyameveti
Yashtavyameveति
Manaha
manaha
samadhaya sa satvikah
Samadhaya
Samadhaya
samadhaya sa
satvikaha.
sattvikaha.
So ahara is over, right? Food is over. Discussion, classification on food is over. Now Krishna says, let's talk about yajnas. And three types of yajnas he will discuss. This 11th verse is Sattvika Yajna. The 12th is Rajasika Yajna. 13th is Tamasika Yajna. Right? Even Yajna can be Tamasic. So what is Sattvika Yajna? The thing is that if you look at your activity throughout the day, a large percent, especially when you're younger, okay, in your older age, the ratio changes. But when you are working, when you are earning, you are spending a very large percentage of your day in activity purely for material gains. Is it not?
Yes, Artha
Yes.
Kama Pradhan.
Yes.
And therefore, it is necessary to at least start the day with the activity which is meant for spiritual growth. So that is the idea here. And therefore, Vididrashta Yajnaha. Vididrashta Yajnaha is those rituals prescribed by the scriptures for inner growth, which are what? Japa, morning dhyanam, morning puja, morning temple visit, all these things. And when you eat also, you're supposed to chant certain mantras. So all this is vididrishtaha, rituals prescribed by the Shastram for your own inner growth. And how should you do it? Afala kangshibi, without expectation of a result. Kangshibi is a person expecting afala without a phalam, without expectation of results. Right? So, for example, you take your morning walk. The walk is for your benefit. There are no other benefit expectation for the walk. Do you have any other expectation? I should get some money for walking. I should get promoted because I walk. No. Your morning walk is purely for your own good. Therefore, these rituals also have to be done with that same lack of expectation, accepting that I am doing it because it is good for me, without desiring any material benefits. Purely for spiritual benefit. In this case, morning walk, physical benefit. These rituals, spiritual benefit. And therefore, they can be called Nishkama Karma or Nitya Naimitika Karma. They have a value for spiritual growth. And you don't have to bother whether people around you, your neighbors, your friends, even your family members, whether they ask you, why are you doing all this? What is the problem? You just continue to do because you know that they are good for my spiritual growth. Right? As such, these people, they perform this, ijjate means perform. They perform these rituals which are prescribed by Shastra. And not only that, it is very important to have the correct attitude. What is attitude? Yashthavyam eva. Yashthavyam eva means that is to be done. Krishna said earlier, Nitya karma kurutvam. These are Nitya karma. Why should you do? Don't ask. Shastra says, Shastra has prescribed this. And therefore, you have to do. You should not enter into a discussion or a debate, even mentally, on whether I like it or not. Whether you like it or not is not a subject of consideration at all. You have to do because it is prescribed. Nitya karma kurutvam. That's what yashthavyam eva means. It has to be done. And if you don't do, what happens? Pratyavaya papam is there. Right? And how should you do? Manaha samadhaya, with a mind which is focused on the particular karma. It is not wandering. You are not wondering, what will I do after I reach office? Your mind is in the present. You are present there and you are doing the karma. Complete focus is there. And also, Shankara adds over here, na anena purushartha mama kartavyaha. You understand? Na anena purushartha mama kartavyaha. From this karma, I don't anticipate or I don't expect any other benefit. That is attitude. It has to be done because Shastram says so, I am doing it. And I don't expect, I don't need that karma to give me any other benefit. You get enjoyment by performing the karma. Karma anandaha you get. Therefore, the only benefit which you get is there already, karma anandaha. You don't expect any karma phala anandaha at all. Remember that this particular thing, this particular description is a description of what we call karma yoga in third chapter. Is it not?
Yes. Ishvara Arpana Bhava, Ishvara Prasada Buddhi.
Exactly the same thing. We call it Karma Yoga earlier. Now we are calling it Sattvika Yajna. Sattvika Yajna and Karma Yoga, there is no difference at all. Okay, now we look at the 12th verse. Abhisandhayatu phalam.
Visandhayatu phalam
Abhisandhayatu
Dhyayatu
phalam
phalam
Dambhartham api chaiva yat.
dhammarthamapi
Dhammarthamapi
chaiva
chaiva
yat
yat
vichevayata
Yajyate bharata shreshta.
Yajyate
te Bharata
Bharatashreshtha
Shrestha
Tam yajñam vidhi rajasam.
tam
Yajnam
yajnam rajasam
Rajasam
Rajasam.
So, vidhi rajasam. Know that to be that karma, to be rajasic karma. Tam yajñam it yajyate. That yajna which is performed. Okay. So Shankara doesn't give any commentary. Okay. He only gives the anvaya of the whole verse. What is anvaya?
The order of words.
The prose order of the words. And it's very nicely given. He says, Abhisandhaya tu uddeshya phalam dambhartam api chaiva yat ijjate bharatashreshtaha tam yajñam vidyarajasam. You can understand. Abhisandhaya tu uddeshya. Abhisandhaya tu that karma which is performed with some expectations. And phalam abhisandhaya. Uddeshya means that is the purpose of the karma. Phalam abhisandhaya means that which got expectation of material benefits like name, fame, status, power, position, whatever. That is the criteria. When you perform a karma with the expectation of some material benefits, such a karma, tam yajñam vidhi rajasam. Such a yajna, please understand, it is rajasika yajna. And therefore, all the yajnas which you hear about in your Puranas and wherever they want something being, some power, something to happen, some benefit, they are all Rajasic only, all Rajasic yajnas. And from the Vedantic point of view also, when you perform an yajna with an expectation, remember that expectation.
Namaste, beta. Kya haal hai?
Please don't mute yours. Again, people are muting. Okay. Anyway, remember that any expectation which you have runs the risk that it may not be fulfilled. And an unfulfilled expectation leads to fluctuating emotions. So what we call FIR. The FIR immediately fluctuate. Right? And therefore, what do we do when something happens which we have an expectation, it's not fulfilled? Therefore, the standard protocol is to blame everybody else. Blame the family members, blame the people, blame the guru, blame everybody. But what is the result? Unfulfilled expectation is, remember, is a result of your own prarabdha. And therefore, to do a karma, to do a yajna with an expectation, it is risking the fact that you are going to have emotional upsets. And therefore, he says such a karma is atsika. That's one condition. A karma done for fulfillment of your expectation is atsika. And karma which is apicha eva dambhartham. So dambha. We have seen this before. What is dambha?
Self-pride, some sort of Showing off,
Just to show it to the world.
arrogance.
Karma is
Pretentious.
pomp and show, pretentious.
Mm.
So any karma done for the purpose of pretension, to show that you are a great person, show how great a person I am, that is also Rajasika. So in the idea is very simple. In Sattvika karma, the focus of the person doing the karma, the yajamana, the focus of the yajamana is what he is giving. In Rajasika karma, the focus of the yajamana is in what I am receiving. Right? And therefore, there's a very easy way of arriving at a conclusion on this matter. When your life is nearing ending, or in fact any point of your life, you look at your karmic bank account, which is not visible, but you can at least mentally see. If you have received more and given less, then you have lived a very materialistic life. And the world will always say that this man's life has been a success. Why? Because he has got lots of things. He has got 20 cars, he has got 5 houses, he got lots of money, got fame, name, everything. So, according to the world, you are a very successful man. But Lord Krishna will say what? Your life is a failure. Because what is the measure of success? The karmic bank account, the credits must be more than the debits. You must have given more than you have received. Right? So the basic difference, this is the basic difference between Sattvika karma and Rajasika karma. You have, if you are given more, it is Sattvika karma. If you have received more, it is Rajasika karma. So with this, we'll stop for today. The next verse is Tamasika karma. That we'll see in the next class. Any questions we can take?
Acharya, like you said, we got this knowledge very late, maybe our approach or whatever. But now, if we see the children practicing this lifestyle of eating refrigerated food, etc., how is it possible, or we should not intervene still, even after knowing?
I don't know about you. My experience is that if I tell my daughter anything, she says, call it pop. So
Same here. They say what you say now, it's impossible. We are working now, you're not working, and it's impossible.
It's impossible. You can't change your children. That change should have come from day one. From the day the kid was born, if you had practiced this, it would be part of the kid's life. Now what can you do? You hope that you have been a good parent and given good values, and therefore the kid has enough punyam to be able to come to class one day.
Acharya, my grandmother used to say even the dough that is prepared should not be left in the fridge, because that time they used to say then the evil spirits come if you leave that. Maybe I think that was a way of explaining this.
Tamasic food, yes. Because in the Puranas, if you say, they'll not talk about tamasic, and they'll talk about evil spirits entering the food. The idea is the same. What is central idea? Cook food every morning. Which is why, like you will find that in the old days, if you had 2 meals, which most people had, food was cooked twice. And there was no need for a fridge at all. It's not practical. I'm not saying it's practical. It's not practical at all today. So,
Swamiji, I have a question.
yeah.
There are several Naimitya karmas, say like yagna to the ancestors. Are they considered tamasic or sattvic? There is a purpose to them.
The purpose the Shastra lays down is that, I don't know if you attended Chandogya classes, Panchagni Vidya.
Yes, I did.
So Panchagni Vidya gives those 5 fires, the timeline for that Jiva to travel. Right. So during that travel, what Shastra says, this is providing nourishment. But the more practical meaning is that it is forcing you to invoke the Lord every day. And therefore, it's more for your benefit than for anybody else's. It's definitely sattvic karma. Any karma in which Ishvara is invoked is sattvika karma.
Thank you.
Okay, so this.
I like the example, Acharya ji, you gave of even the lipstick that one decides to wear you for a party or a dress or an ornament. Everything first offered to the Lord. It is His, and I just borrow it for some time. That was a nice.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashyate Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat. Thank you for your patience.
Om Tat Sat. Thank you, Shivaya.
Thank you, Ravi ji.